What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here, and I want to talk to you about a book that I recently finished reading. Superman Before Truth Volume 1. I think this is like there's going to be a Before Truth Volume 2. This collects Superman issues 40 through 44 and the 8-page Superman story from Divergence Free Comic Book Day Special Edition Issue 1. This book is written by Gene Luen Yang and is drawn by John Romita Jr. with inks by Klaus Janson. This book is stupid. I had so many problems reading this book, and I should go ahead and mention that I consider myself only a casual Superman fan, but then right there behind me there's like an entire shelf, entire level on that bookshelf of Superman books. So I think I'm more than a casual Superman fan, but I'm not a huge fan of the New 52 Superman. In fact, this is only the third of the New 52 Superman books that I've read. I read the first volume of Grant Morrison's Action Comics and the first volume of Adjective with Superman by George Perez, and then I didn't read any further because everything that I didn't really like Morrison's Action Comics, what I read, and then everything that I was seeing about what came later in Adjective with Superman didn't really look that interesting to me either. Well, I got this mostly, I was just kind of curious. I was like, well, this looks like a volume 1. I thought it was going to be one of those things where a brand new creative team is coming onto a book, and so they're renumbering the volumes, so even though this collects issue 40 through 40-something, this is still kind of a volume 1 for this creative team. So I thought, okay, it's a brand new creative team, it looks like it's going to be a brand new story, looks like maybe it's going to be a good jumping on point for me to get into. And I guess it's a good jumping on point, but that doesn't make this story less stupid, and I guess I should just go ahead and get right into it. The story is pretty simple, I guess. Some dude named Hordrer, or Hordrer, it's H-O-R-D-R. I just called him Hodor, like in Game of Thrones. Hodor has found out that Clark Kent is Superman, and he's trying to blackmail Clark. Also, Lois Lane has found out that Clark is Superman, and because she is the biggest idiot in the entire world, and is also a horrible human being, she reveals to the world that Clark is Superman so that Hodor doesn't have any dirt on Superman. And then she keeps saying, don't worry, Clark, we'll get through this, we'll get through this. Well, incidentally, nobody is attacking Lois Lane out in the street. Nobody is making Lois Lane's life miserable. But suddenly, now that everyone knows that Clark Kent is Superman, all these supervillains are coming out of the woodwork. They're attacking the Daily Planet. They're attacking Clark Kent on the street. And then the story just kind of stops. Clark Kent fights some dude while he's trying to be undercover with Jimmy Olsen, drinking coffee, and then the story ends with Clark Kent kind of yelling at Lois Lane, and then it just kind of ends. This, I'm 99% sure, is only half of the Before Truth storyline. So I really feel like I wasted my money here because A, I didn't even like the story that we got here, and B, I don't even think that we got a complete story. I don't like the idea that everyone in the world knows who Superman is. I don't like this pretty modern idea that, I want to say it really started with the first Iron Man movie, this modern idea that the secret identity is a thing of the past. I don't understand that. I've always felt like the superhero keeping his identity a secret is one of the most interesting things about superheroes. It's one of the things that I don't want to see go away, and yet in every modern superhero story, it seems like it's going away. Spoilers for some TV shows and movies, but just about every superhero movie, the superheroes don't have secret identities. Batman vs. Superman, Lex Luthor knows who everyone is. In Daredevil, now, everyone knows who Matt Murdock is. Well, all of his friends, anyway, know who he is. Arrow, everyone knows who Oliver Queen is. In The Flash, everyone knows who Barry Allen is. Nobody has a secret identity anymore, and in this book, we're kind of following suit with that. Now, to be fair, this book is telling us that the secret identity is important because when Superman loses his secret identity, suddenly his life is in shambles, and Lois Lane can't seem to understand that. She keeps saying, well, I did this to help you, but she doesn't really understand that her trying to help him is actually making his life a lot harder. And also, she keeps saying, we're going to get through this, but she's not actually doing anything to help Superman. Also, I thought it was really stupid. There's two things that are stupid about this. Well, two more things that I haven't covered. Number one, this book keeps referencing Grant Morrison's Action Comics run. There's one particular scene in the first volume of Morrison's Action Comics where Lex Luthor and Lois Lane's father, General Lane, are torturing Superman, trying to get information out of him. That scene is referenced in this book. Lois is talking about that time that Lex Luthor and her father tortured Superman, and then they actually are showing a video clip of it at this one point in a story. in Morrison's Action Comics run, his landlady found out that he was Superman, and he told her, if you ever told anyone, Clark Kent would just disappear and I would just create a new secret identity for myself somewhere else. What happened to that? Why is that no longer on the table? Why is it that when the entire world finds out that Clark is Superman, he's still trying to be Clark Kent? Why? I don't understand this. Right after the entire planet finds out that Clark is Superman, he's just walking down the street in his Clark Kent clothes. I would have thought that as soon as Lois Lane tells the entire planet that he would immediately go underground. He would go to Batman and say, okay, I need your connections. I need to create a new identity for myself. That would be who I would go to. And we see the Justice League responding, or they're reacting to Clark's identity being thrown out there, but then they're not helping Superman. He's just walking down the street in his Clark Kent clothes. And then after he gets attacked by the Royal Flush Gang and Livewire and Killer Croc and a whole bunch of other people attack the Daily Planet, then he goes to some hotel and he cuts his hair. I would have thought that would be step one. Grow a beard, cut your hair, shave it, do whatever you need to do to make yourself not look like Clark Kent. I would even kind of take Superman low-key for a little while. His powers were kind of depowered a little bit by this Hodor guy. I would make Superman be a little bit low-key. Don't wear your costume. Just go out there and do some plainclothes civilian superheroing. You don't have to publicly be Superman for a few months. Just kind of let this whole Superman thing lie low, and then you can be Superman in times where you're really needed, and you can also create a brand new secret identity for yourself. If this was a brand new continuity that had no connections to the New 52, this whole idea of, oh no, Clark Kent's identity has been revealed, what's he going to do, that might have worked, but the problem is, this is referencing Grant Morrison's Action Comics run, where he even said that if his identity was revealed, he would just lose the Clark Kent persona, and here, he seems to have some trouble with that concept. This whole thing is just really not good. I will not be buying Volume 2 because I kind of feel cheated buying Volume 1. This is really only half of a story, and I don't like paying full price for a full story, and then only getting half of the story, and that half of the story not even being very good. So those are my thoughts on Superman Before Truth Volume 1. I did not like it. I do not recommend that anyone read this or pay money for it. But I do hope that I can one day become a Superman fan again. I like Superman, obviously, behind me. I like Superman. I want to read Superman on a regular basis, but the New 52, and it seems like everybody who is writing Superman stories since the New 52 started is making that impossible for me, because I have yet to read a good Superman story since the New 52 started. So those are my thoughts on this book. I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back later in the week with some other videos, and I'll be doing other videos next week, so be sure to watch those if that's what you're into. In the meantime, I will see you guys in the future. Have a great rest of the day.